Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is time, once and for all, the rematch grudge match of the century, or at least for ESEA Invite Season 25. This is week 5? The first week after the break, the short 3 or 4 weekend break of 4th of July, leading up to this moment. EVO Gaming, now reformed under Mela as Ascent, a longtime organization, against Fank Gaming with May back on Medic. A lot of action has been happening in terms of team rosters and team sponsors, and finally we are here. Fank Gaming and EVL fought each other the first week of ESEA, and Fank Gaming came through with a convincing 5-3, 5-2, but one of the biggest stipulations was Rando was playing engineer the first half. So let's see where things will go with a proper old-fashioned TF2 match on the staple, the granddaddy of all maps, and it's Marxist.
Yep, we are on the primordial soup match map, as it were. This is where I learned how to play sixes, and probably everyone else as well. It's also the map you always recruit on, so I'm sure everybody's played it oodles. But we'll get into the rosters here, because my cheat sheet is wrong, because both teams, a la, you know, the trade deadline in baseball or basketball, everybody made a lot of deals over this break this quote break that we had. So both of these teams are going to be featuring different players than what you've seen already. I'll let you pick one, Ro.
I'm going to run down Fank Gaming because I can name half the players, and I'm assuming Mr. Muffins is the big one coming from Hibbleton, but let me just run through it one by one. Over here on Fank Gaming, we have May the Medic, Campy the Demo, Mr. Muffins leaving Hibbleton to join up and replacing, I can't remember who, I want to say someone with a K? Is that proper? Is that correct?
Goldfish is
Goldfish, not Concept. I'm thinking of someone else. That was replaced by Mela, if I'm not mistaken. Right? No, not Concept. I'm thinking of...
No.
It starts with a K!
No, you're still wrong.
Let's stick with Fank Gaming. Evil Mr. Muffins on the Pocket class for Fank Gaming, taking over Goldfish's role this time. Ranga still on Roamer, Phelps, aka Happy Cool on Scout, and Sandblast, the other Scout. That's Fank Gaming. You run Ascent, because I don't know anything about Ascent anymore, apparently.
Alright, they were EVL up until
Kryptonite.
About 20 minutes ago, and currently they're back to their old Ascent ways, which is what they were in the past. You've got Nursey on Medic still, Badonsky's still there, but a big one, Patty is gone, he's dust in the wind, and Mela has returned from wherever he was, perhaps his hyperbolic time chamber, to play Roamer, perhaps, and Rando is going to be your other soldier, and then Corsa and Yomps are still there on the scout classes. So one change there, 2 changes for the other team, and we will see what's going to happen. And on the bright side, it plays into their hands here because everybody knows this map. So if you haven't had your chance to gel yet, I would want to play this map as our first map, because generally you don't need to really strat things out. You're part of one of 2 schools of thought about this map, and you just do what you do.
That is very well said, because this is quite frankly the most scrutinized map in terms of strategy. There are a few things here and there that got adjusted. The biggest thing, of course, being the last cap does not cap in 1 second from a scout. Actually a proper 2 seconds, so back capping is a lot harder and a lot harder to punish, or a lot easier to punish, because if anyone goes for the attempt, it doesn't instantly cap the moment they get around the corner, so it's not a dive for the point and then hold onto it for 30 seconds while it decaps. No, it's much easier to hold last, more or less, with the reduced back cap time.
Yeah, it's not quite as likely to bait the whole team to the point.
Exactly.
When somebody touches it. So that changed the dynamic a little bit. It didn't really... We're talking marginal changes, though, because 2 seconds is still pretty fast. But such is the nature of the map. And most of the other stuff, though, is still as it was. So That's I know some people have tried to make a pro version of this map, and I don't know how that turned out. I'm happy with it the way that it is. But that's just me. And part of that is couched by the fact I've played this map for like 8 years. So I'm just used to all of its little quirks. Except for the time that they fiddled with the window. That was a great day in Badlands history, Row, when they decided that
It went from
the
a
window
solid
frame
to
ought
a
to have collision. Because you could always go out of that window, and then one day they just decided, nah, I don't think you need to be able to get out of that window, and it was like the world was coming to an end.
Precisely, but now they decided to forego all awkward collision and clipping, and they took out the frame and left just a nice big hole in the house. And they also they polished up a few of the hiding places, though I do imagine you could still get into some spots inside the lobby, the house, where the mid pack is. One of the biggest things there was you could hide in practically every spot in the house, and I still think you can. One little spot, maybe.
In the zone the Europeans call Hunter, and we mostly just call it the house. But they gave it a special name because they're prone to EU gimmicks, and EU gimmicks go down inside that room. And they were primarily brought to you by a man named Hunter.
Haunter, the legendary scout.
Yeah, so here we are. We're just waiting now. I think we have everyone in the server, if my eyes do not deceive
One
me.
short, just coming from the Ascent side.
Oh, yeah. Is it Mabla?
It is Mabla.
Wow, leave it to Mabla to be late to his first match back.
Yeah, that's how it works. He had a condition to buying the organization. He had to be the last one to arrive and the first one to leave.
Mm-hmm. So we're just waiting now. We'll see what kind of a match we're going to get. As was noted, Rando ran NG the entirety of the first half. The last time these two teams faced off. And cost his team the game. So we'll see now. Maybe with Mabla back, then everything will be okay. And he'll play a soldier class. Or maybe he'll go for the scout class. He actually did really well on Viaduct the other week.
Rando, once again, back in Viaduct, showing himself up as a scout, even though it might have felt like bad manners or any number of things to insult the other team. He did do a pretty decent job on scout. And it's really hard to say how Ascent is going to take this. They want to take this seriously to prove that the first time was definitely a fluke, and maybe we'll see some off-class shenanigans that might get punished. Yomps might go soldier, though that's not the worst thing in the world. Yomps might off-class, Random might off-class, and then all of a sudden they've lost a mid-fight, and they're deciding to hold on to it because they can hold on to last forever, since it's a lot harder to cap.
And yeah, we'll see. I still don't know where Mela is. I think I had him on Friends at one point in my life. Let's see if he still is. We'll call him out live on stream.
While we're going through that, just in case you weren't aware, on the overlay itself, I'm Ro. Marxist is joining me with Nicell, the production man, rocking that camera and making sure we get all the nice, juicy Spire action that we can ever desire. And I'm actually hoping that in some semblance of ancient mix-up pure strats, we see a rotating soldier on Spire trying to desperately defend by buffing a 300 soldier. He jumps up, they start healing the other one, and then they rotate them out for heals so that there's always a soldier fighting on Spire, pulling the attention away while the other one gets refueled at the pit stop that is the medic.
It's even more viable now because you can just shoot one arrow at the soldier and he'll be back to full health. And he doesn't even have to drop down off the Spire to do that. So
well, there you go. The meta has evolved.
No, the game has a bad weapon in it. But anyways, on to other subjects. Mela, as a news update, beep, 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 is Mela is currently offline because he doesn't want to be spammed during his video game. So
very reasonable.
That's what's going on there with the story of where Mela has gone.
So what's new on the streets, Marxist? It's been a wonderful break for everyone. Have you been following anything going on in your life or in the TF2 lives of others?
No, not particularly. I pugged last night for the first time in a while. That was fun. I got to use shotgun as soldier, and everybody was like, "Ew, shotgun as soldier." And then I had a good chuckle at their expense. And then I got to demonstrate how I cannot hit anything with said shotgun, but it just makes me feel good on the inside to use it. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Been tooling around. I guess I can brag. Thanks to all of these years of practice on TFTV, I will be appearing on PBS in Indiana in October, and on some podcast or another in a few weeks for my capacity with work. So there you go, TF2 life skills.
Bam!
So what are you
All
up
it
to,
takes.
bro?
See, Marxist is going to be the curator for the TF2 Museum in Glasgow, the home of the Demo Man, if I'm not mistaken. I could be 100% wrong on that, but no, Marxist is the future museum curator for all things TF2 history, keeping in touch with his own personal stint in the world of history and artifacts.
Mm-hmm. So you've been up to, Ro, doing cool stuff?
Oh yes, I've been doing very cool stuff. I've been coding for the past 2 days for a game that some people may know as Mafia or Werewolf. And today I tested the code, and for the most part, it's done. And I feel pretty cool because I didn't even need to do that much debugging.
Well, there you go. Apparently, Mablo may be downloading the client. So
That's
I don't
very
remember
exciting
it
to hear.
taking that long to download said client. But things are known to happen. That's why they tell you, if you're a new gamer and you're looking to get into ESEA, it's best that you try the client before your first, 3 minutes before your first game. That would be right there in the good category. So, and that's why we're currently waiting. Or maybe they'll bring back Patty.
The Patty comeback. Also big news. It may or may not be known to you all in chat and Marxist, but Patty is more or less confirmed to be on the 7 roster heading to I-61. So that makes 2 trans-international teams headed to Insomnia at the last weekend of August in Birmingham, UK.
Yeah, not
Or is that
Alabama.
Britain, which means it's not the UK?
Britain is in the UK, Ro. It's okay.
It didn't get Brexited? It's back again?
The UK itself Brexited. Now we're into world politics. So there you go. Now you can be educated like Ro is now.
Long story short,
I'm sorry,
Patty.
British friends and UKers.
Patty, the person who was formerly on EVL, Ascent, formerly known as EVL, is now on a trans-international team for the Insomnia LAN, teaming up against Banny, who is the other international player joining a European team for Insomnia 61. And Patty was an avid user of the shotgun for EVL. And I think you're not outdated, Marxist. Shotgun is totally within the purview of the meta, if you can aim like Patty does.
I won't be pleased until Shotgun Roamer makes a full comeback.
It's got to come full circle.
Yeah, we have to go straight back to 2008. And then I'll be at my happiest. But we'll see. We're still without a Mabla. And maybe we will be forever. Maybe it was all just a clever ruse, and Ascent, newly named Ascent, is just going to forfeit this match to fame as a gigantic troll upon us all.
One could say it was a pipe dream of the return of Lost in Translation.
To report this match as a forfeit win, well, the moment of truth has arrived.
This is correct, because it has been 20 minutes since the server has opened up, which means there is an opportunity for Feint to technically, or Ascent to technically fight this 5v6. And Phelps is dropping in the mad BM by asking if Mela even has TF2 downloaded.
And then Rando replies, "Who are you?" But yeah, so I'll run you through the etiquette of these. So in general, if it is not an important match, no one will hold it against you if you type .report as soon as you can. So if you're, last place in open and you're not having a good first season and the other team doesn't show up, no one will blame you. Oh, hey, Mela launched TF2. Look at that. And no one will blame you for forfeiting. But if it's a big match, playoff, repercussions, or a playoff game, then it's kind of shady to do the report. And usually what will happen is that you'll let the server get near to timing out, and then you will go ahead and force start the game as a 5v6, and then use your pause, because each team gets a pause per half. You'll use your pause to just pause the game and wait for your person to get their situation resolved.
But thankfully we won't have to go through that.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully we won't have to go through that, thanks to Marxist, the Mela surveyor.
He's currently not in a game server though, so maybe he's got to do his config.
I would wager quite a large sum of money in the form of TF2 economy items that Mela is going to join the server and then get kicked out by ESEA's client. And then we'll be going into another short 10-minute recession. So I'm running out of stall tactics, Mela. Marxist, how about you?
Well, here, I can talk. If you're not familiar with who Mela was and/or Mabla, then I'll give you some background. The reason I call him Mabla occasionally is because Bloodsire did a cast. I think it was with me even. And Bloodsire had been away for a while. And he did not know who Mela was, because Mela had played in IM for a while and had not been an invite before when we casted him. And so he just assumed the 3 was a B and called him Mabla. And it was very funny. And I continue to reference it despite Bloodsire not having visited us in quite some time. He's also known for certain proclivities, such as playing Pyro at various points during the game and being pretty good at it. And also being a roamer that occasionally uses and was a big proponent for using the black box.
Yes, I do remember that time, back when the black box always gave 15 HP, not just a variation of how much damage you've produced with said black box. And it was pretty hectic. Mostly on Goalie Wash was where I noticed it was strongest. But this is Badlands, and Pyro is fairly good at the last point, holding things down, but making the transition from last, usually in lobby you'd see it plenty. I remember some time long ago there may have been a grand finals that involved Mabla, and it was in Badlands lobby that we saw some Pyro action. But
yep.
Everywhere else it's got very little strength.
We used it in Choke with when the quick fix was legal. That was our anti-quick fix setup.
The anti-quick fix
was to just have the Pyro park himself in Choke and reflect all the rockets that got shot by the invincible pocket, or nearly invincible, because he, quick fix. But we'll see now. Let me do a Mela check. Still in the game, it says he is in a server. Let me check my server and that server and see if they're the same. I don't think they are. But it's a server nonetheless, so maybe he's trying to join.
We're moments away. Moments away, ladies and gentlemen. Based on the arrival of Mela, the final member and current new owner of Ascent, aka formerly EVL, There is currently a 5v6 almost ready to go. It's just on Ascent to call one more ready, or rather one player on Ascent to say dot start. We'll be getting underway with a 5v6 start, and then presumably going into the waste our pause, try and get Mela to connect, and then get underway, though I imagine that would be quite a hassle for the beginning rollouts for our demo men, but thankfully it's just Mela who is, as a roamer, can do a myriad of options when it comes to rolling out to mid.
Indeed. So it shouldn't be too bad. Especially because when you do a jerky pause like that, it'll screw up the other team too. So everyone kind of has to deal with the weird delay. But on the subject of weird delays, I made a giant mistake and I bought a little thing of ice cream. There it is! It's Mela! He's joined Team Blue. Here we go, Ro. It's gonna be TF2 time soon. So woe betide all those who tuned out during our rambling. Because we're gonna have video games.
Video games shall be getting underway, and Ascent looking to take control of the Spire, perhaps? Or is that too far-fetched?
I don't know.
They have a mountain for their logo.
Yep, maybe that's where they do their best work. They just know. So we'll see. We should be getting going here pretty much immediately.
Marxist, the people want to know about the ice cream.
Alright, so I got this super ultra chocolate ice cream, and it is incredibly decadent. But I take like one bite of it, and it's just, that's too much. It's too much chocolate, Ro. I made a bad purchase.
A bad purchase, perhaps, but finally, starting the first half, the green text will be going live momentarily. Match is live after the next restart because I'm bad at counting, but that's okay because I don't need to be the one who counts in this game. I can look at the numbers on my screen and see it is 0-0 with 6 players versus 6 players with 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go. At this mid-fight, we do see here our first demo man, Badonsky, getting to the house. Going to be shooting his first sticky on Timmy2Pipe, aka Campy, who is very slow. Going to be rolling out to the window, getting eyes on the players at the train. A lot of Ascent has taken underneath, and we do see a mini sentry popped out from Rando, who is currently playing the engineer class. Some initiation to take down Timmy2Pipe, and the sentry picks off Renga. It is May who gets cleaned up by Yomps, who is also now in a desperate chase against Happy Cool. He does lose that fight, and Course is going to clean up Phelps. That will be Mr. Muffins on the respawn, being the first death from the fight. And Rando opting to walk up this Spire with still Gunslinger Engineer causing a little bit of havoc here.
Yep, and wisely does Nursey climb the Spire, and now there's a mini there too, so Nursey... Oh, snipe! But Rando does the first useful thing, and blocks a headshot aimed for Nursey. So even when he's failing, he is on point. So here we go. We should see an Uber straight through. It looks like they kind of want to double scout it. Will we see the Chariot Uber? No, Badonsky's involved in this. So they're crossing over to the right side, Ro.
They do take Corsa in on the right side. He's rotated behind the point, and it's going to be sneaking up on May any moment now. He does see May. He's very close, but has to back off now and is fighting Sandblast, who is also trying to slow things down in the back end. Oh, a nice little shot from Yomps there. And both the scouts are still causing a lot of trouble here in the back end of this last point. Sandblast finally going to get both those kills, and Mela a third frag with a Rando as Tomislav Heavy does not get arrowed in time, and Nursey might get caught out here by Badonsky. Oh, 2 shots from a clean run through by Sandblast, who will then finish it off, making it a 4-kill against 2 scouts, following after Badonsky with a clean 2-shot after Badonsky was above 100 health, and then cleaning up Nursey there. Yomps currently on Sniper, going to try and peek the choke point. A lot of spam coming in though, and he's not going to be able to get a shot here. The rest of the Fank Gaming crew are now making their way through house with the buffs and the Uber advantage.
Yep, and they're basically just hoping the Sniper can poo-poo on this party, but it does not happen, and they're all out of there. Even Badonsky with the pretty massive jump, but he's being chased, gonna make it into spawn. Yeah, Rando is behind them at choke currently, but he's just not doing anything. And now is in the house. Decided he didn't like it. He may bomb. There he is. He walked out right behind the medic. Kills May. So that was a bit of an error in judgment. Let this be a lesson to you, folks. when everyone is looking in the same direction, you are about to have something bad happen to you. When you're all standing on the point like that, do look around.
Exactly. Poor play by the rest of the team. Not even, like, keeping an eye out for things. Oh, poor Campy's going to get caught out here by Corsa with a little bit of help from the damage of Mela, who's also going to be there to help Badonsky take down Thor, a.k.a. Renga. Now we do see Yomps, who's getting very aggressive. He does hear a player in the forward spawn, is trying to peek it out, but it's not going to make it happen. He's going to be rotating around. Spots Phelps, gets 2 nice shots, but does not get a lot of damage there. Muffins is now a little bit caught out, going to rotate through the lower and get out with his life, just barely, and the rest of the players of Fank Gaming are now setting up for last, as they do not have any opportunities here to hold in the lobby with such a significant Uber disadvantage, but they are building it slowly, and they should have it in time for this push that Nursey is orchestrating in the upper lobby.
Yep, and we'll see what they're going to do here. Soldiers are going lower. They're going to spam a gun, it looks like, and it's going to work. And we'll see now if they're just going to go ahead and do anything with that. Looks like we're going in from the top left. It's Rando trying to do anything. Gonna get shot down by Happy Cool. Almost made it out of the stairs. A very strange suicide. But it's enough. So, oh, and Mr. Muffins will die in a counter sack. And Ranga is trying to do something as well. And gets killed. Badonsky nearly dies. But yeah, Scout just runs on the point. Med's got to drop down to save it. The Ubers are deployed now. But Ascent is the one on the high end of this one. And nope, now Corsa's going to go down. That'll even it out. And Rando with 7 health. Badonsky already dead. Heavy on the floor from Sandblast. Very well done. They defend that one, even though they were a player down at the start of it all.
Badonsky was also a late frag in that exchange. Now we do see Ascent Mela backing up with Nursey onto the Pride Rock. Mela's going to be initiated on the Spire, being an avid player of the Spire in MG. Going to take down Phelps, and that is going to change things in Ascent's favor as now they can run forward. And it's actually a very aggressive rush from Corsa, who gets juggled in lobby. Almost gets the frag there with the mid-air shooting with the gun. Almost had an opportunity there to take down the player that was juggling him. And now the Uber is ready, and May is quite behind on the building. So right now we're going to see the push right away, popping the Uber. Corsa does not get dropped, thankfully, even though it ran in all the way through. Finally going to clean up on May with the help of Rando, who also cleans up onto the Sandblast. And now it is just Renga and the demo Timmy 2-Pipe going to get taken down. Renga and even Mr. Muffins trying to do some work here, alternating their rotations as soldiers, but it's not going to be enough. And a clean last push, a methodical take them down one at a time and then cap the point. Push from Ascent, taking it 1-0.
Yeah, I saw double off class for the start of mid, but they're going to stick with that Rando NG. So we'll see if Fank Gaming can recover and beat a team that is a player down at mid.
But they do have that 7th player coming from the mini-sentry any moment now. Donsky getting the worst end of this exchange at the mid-fight, and Timmy 2-Pipe holding onto it. May desperate to jump away from the Scout who's pressuring him. And that's not going to be enough. Nursey gets taken down from Mr. Muffins, who has rotated through the valley and almost takes down a final player. It's Mela who will get the better end of that. It's going to rotate back, and Rando still alive with the sentry getting taken down. Going to try and get out. 2 for 1 from Phelps. Able to take down Corsa and Rando with a single shot. Those are rare and beautiful, and oh my goodness, that was so cool to see.
Yep, and they're going to cap this one very easily. They also have Uber advantage that Yomps is going to go to the Spy class. So I think I will follow him around. We'll see what he's going to try to do. He's gambling that they're going to not hear that. And he's going to end up right behind the med here. But he's going to bump everyone in the hole. No, they managed to not bump him. He's coming in behind now. We'll see what he can get. He's going to get the man right there. Is he going to get the demo? He had the Diamondback and it had crits. But I don't think it matters at all. That's pretty much it. Ranga has to try to fight a heavy. That's never gonna happen. And we'll probably see a push out here from Mela. He'll go get to be Spire King again.
Mela sitting atop his perch. Be keeping an eye on Ranga, who's initiating now. Gonna try and knock Mela up, but he jumps right back into the fray. He's not afraid to stand on top of it. Taking a lot of pressure here, though. Because of the sniper, he's gonna drop down and crater. And even Yomps is gonna be a little overextended here. Corsa gonna get the better of Ranga now and chasing down with the pistol. Gonna be able to snipe out Mr. Muffins through the air with that pistol, and Timmy Two Pipe is going to be getting on top of the pack. Going to miss an arrow there, but finally meet up with May. And now Happy Cool keeping up the initiation on the Spire, or Sandblast rather. Going to get healed up. Happy Cool on the Sniper class. Keep an eye on things. And now, finally, with a little bit of help from the demo spam, they're going to take control of the battlements, and Badonsky is going to be cut off entirely almost at the drop down. Going to be rotating back with the rest of the players in lobby, opting to back out of lobby and into last here, as players might get caught out here. It's actually a really aggressive play from Yomps, who almost gets caught out by the 6 players in front of him, and everyone has readjusted their positions, and we're going to be seeing an Uber push right away coming into the point. Going to be able to take down Yomps right away thanks to Sandblast. Muffins coming down to the right side, holding things down, getting a lot of damage on the Mela, and that's going to be slowing things down enough for Sandblast to cap it off thanks to the rest of the players holding the left side. A very clean hold. Push into last, lock them out, and cap the point. Marxist. 1-1.
Yep, here we are, and it looks like Ascent has decided to run a typical cookie cutter setup here. So maybe we'll get to see a real mid. I think I'll take it away, give you a bit of a breather on these, though. So we're going to see Blue walk up that hill there. They're going to make it up, but Ranga is going to get beat up, and Timmy Two Pipe is down. So it's already falling apart. Med taking a whole lot of fire there in May. But Ascent, their health isn't great, but I think they have way superior positioning. And they're actually going to give to the chase here. Soldier's very low, is going to make it out. Mr. Muffins will get arrowed.
Ranga?
And so everything will be okay. Ranga is in patio road, don't you panic. So
I thought he was going to get an opportunity to
the
the Spire.
important thing here is that Nursey was climbing the Spire and thus was completely impervious to anything Ranga would have tried to do.
Yeah, Mela just turned around as he was peeking that patio, and he had to backspawn. As a result, Ranga now holding down the left side, but nobody's there. Everyone is coming from upper. But with even Ubers, it's going to be very hard to get a clean push. Once again, Sandblast on the Spy, checking things out. Going to rotate back to the Sniper now to get an angle on upper and catch any weary heads that decide, no, Sandblast is back to Spy. I was getting excited, and now I'm very sad again. Yomps just rushing forward! Gonna get a clean shot onto Evil Mr. Muffins, down to 17 HP. After getting juggled by Ranga there, finally gets taken down, but he got way too far with way too much health, and Muffins took way too much damage, despite having the rest of Ranga there to help him.
Yep, and now it's a sniper duel for Sandblast to catch someone out of position. And we have Yomps coming in on Spy. He's in lower lobby right now. But we'll see which door he decides to go in. He's going to do the original trick, which is possibly get headshot here. But disguising as a friendly sniper. Made sure they do. Oh, he's going to eat a spam pipe right away. They probably know that there's a Spy in now. He's going to grab the health pack and maybe call this a wash.
Yeah, they were very aware of Yomps' play because Sandblast was constantly switching to that Spy class, was checking for the off classes and saw it. So they switched off to Pyro and were keeping an eye on it, spamming it out before Yomps had even entered the arena. And as a result, Yomps is now a null factor. Every moment he sits here, he's wasting away an opportunity to switch off to a class and get ready for this repush, because with Rando down, if they can clear these stickies, they can just walk through and make sure Yomps doesn't backcap, who is now opting to finally go back. And with Yomps going back, waiting for Rando to hold the door open, it's going to be a very big numbers disadvantage for holding the lobby. The Ubers are going to be exchanged from Ascent, and they're actually going to catch out Sandblast here, which is a big mistake because now they do not have the numbers while they're waiting for the Yomps and Rando respawn. What is going to happen here? Ranga gets taken down from the side as Nursey is holding aggressively onto Corsa, rushing to the point, getting behind the cap. And now with players rushing in from up top, it's going to be easy for Corsa now with a full buff to come in, clean up Mr. Muffins, and going to follow up. The aggression is holding down the fort. They're holding down every shutter and now rushing to the point. It's a bomb rush from poor Sandblast, and TB2 Poppy's going to clean it up with 2 great stickies. Going to clean off the point. And a 4th one onto Mela. It is just Badonsky and Nursey rushing out with a great play from Campy, holding it down for his team. And now they're going to try and push things out, but the sticky trap is going to be there and is going to detonate onto Ranga, who didn't take too much damage, is now going to try and cut off Badonsky with a nice little juggle. Can TB2 Pop follow up? The spam is not going to be enough. He's going to get taken down, and Ranga goes down. Badonsky, or rather Campy, trying to cap off second, is going to have to back off now, and Phelps also with a Boston Basher taking the damage is going to have to rotate off the point. A nice sticky shot going to take down Rando, and some initiation from Sandblast is going to also take it down. Mela is going to get dropped by Mr. Muffins on the flank, and he's going to go on and finish that cap. And the Uber gets forced off from Nursey. Both Ubers have been exchanged on both sides, but now Feint Gaming have captured the Spire and are looking to take mid very convincingly with their numbers.
Yeah, and I was kind of confused by that play there because May had several swipes, I think 2, in that last defense shenanigan period. And so they had huge Uber advantage and just chose not to use it. They are capping this point off fairly easily, but May's going to get taken down from lower, and Yomps isn't done yet. He's still going. He's going to eat a pipe, though, and that's going to put an end to the frag video, but the damage is done, and Badonsky is in here chasing everybody away. There is a scout, the arch nemesis of the Demo Man class, and whoa, he's going to get blown away, and that was Rando, but Nursey dies anyways while we were watching that.
What a great follow-up bump for Mr. Muffins. I mean, Phelps is doing such a phenomenal job of staying in the fight, keeping the pressure on Badonsky, and he got piped and taken down. And then Muffins jumped in at the perfect time to juggle Nursey off the point, and a clean, instant air shot was able to take it down. Really good stuff coming from Feint Gaming here. Now with a full advantage in about 20 seconds or less, we will be seeing them coming in. But Yomps has flanked to bridge and is going to take down Muffins with 2 clean shots to the back. And this other exchange at the bottom of Spire is not going to be enough because now May is down to 10 HP with 90%. Is going to get cut off entirely. Get cleaned up by a nice little chip shot from Corsa, who cleans up Sandblast. And once again, Ranga, a desperate bomb to take down Nursey, but it's not going to be enough. Nursey taking the rockets, holding on to life. Going to be climbing the Spire, and the cap is ready with Uber ready at any moment now from Nursey, and Ascent going to push into last now with their advantage.
Yep, the Sandblast is going to try to set up a gun, which is an interesting choice. Normally you wouldn't have time, but they're going to bank that Nursey doesn't have that much Uber yet, which is mostly correct. So they may try to go now, and they may fiddle around. It looks like they're going to just go ahead and go. Scout straight to the point. They're going to blow the stickies off of it with the Soldier. There was Timmy 2-pipe up in the tube, but he is dead now. Soldier just jumping around on it. Mela uncontested. Yeah, so they just cleaned the Timmy 2-pipe out of that, the last point tube there, and nobody did anything else.
Very easy to flush out that point, finish the cap, and take it into our 4th round of this first half. Ascent just 1 away from ending the half. Now Badonsky going to be getting into the house a lot later than Timmy 2-pipe, who's at the window, going to shut off that entrance, and now Badonsky is going to have to rotate to the other side, get ready to rotate with the team through the closet. Nursey has rushed through with Corsa, and they're taking complete control of the enemy train, and now both sides holding on to their enemy trains are going to be coming in, even Mr. Muffin's getting the first initiation, and with both scouts down for Ascent, it's going to be very easy for the rest of Feint Gaming to take control of this mid-fight, but Rando is flanking from underneath, and it's going to walk up, hit 2 clean rockets onto May, almost knocking him down to the final end. It's a crit screen getting popped off. May desperately trying to run away from Rando, but Rando is going to get the better of it, taking down Mr. Muffins while landing into the closet. Nurse is going to get exchanged immediately by Phelps, and Sandblast is going to get taken down with Badonsky. It's a last player alive from Mela. He's sitting in there with 20 HP and a clean around the corner. Fade away Kobe from the Demo Man, going to take it down, and that will be the end of Rando. Okay, sorry, Mela. Some scouts now on the respawn coming in to initiate, and Sandblast is going to get taken out by Yomps. But now with both players down, it's going to be another late spawn, and Ranga going to be putting on his Spire pants, potentially, against Rando in flank.
We will see. Rando doesn't appear to be doing a whole lot. The rest of the team is coming through for Feint Gaming. It'll be Ranga, though, playing up here. He's going to get knocked down by Badonsky. Too much demo spam for him. They're going to bring 2 soldiers this time. And in goes Mela, who gets shut down. So all those thousands of hours of Spire MGE did not prepare him for that situation. But it doesn't ultimately matter. Both teams lose both their soldiers over the Spire. And so far, May is the most hurt med. There are scouts on the point, but Sandblast is going to go down. So is Timmy 2-pipe, and they're going to keep going. That's Corsa running ahead, just holding down W right now. It's Badonsky going to steal the May frag, though. And we're going to have to bail out of here. Many jumps and a respawn very quickly from evil Mr. Muffins to get out.
Badonsky putting out an insane amount of work here, doing 2 kills on that Spire exchange before Fang could cap it off, and then getting the chase kill on May. We do see a sniper from Happy Cool trying to get a shot through the bridge with his muck, and he's got a fully charged shot. He could hit Nursey right now and misses the shot. Very close. They're going to have to rotate back in. Back spawn right away, and now we do see Rando in the upper battlements, beating up with Badonsky, who sees a myriad of stickies, going to finally death those off. And now the sentry from Sandblast is going to be built up just in time, but going to get rotated out, going to be backing it up, trying to get the gun back in time for this Uber push, which is coming in now. They do not have the numbers for it with Corsa being down, but the sentry gun has gone down now. Yomps gets taken down and exchanged for Mr. Muffins, cleaned up by Rando now. And Rando trying to get a little pressure onto Happy Cool. Happy Cool keeping a lot of room for the rest of his team. Rando is going to desperately rush out, and Mela also going to be rotating back. Ranga pushing a little too far forward, getting taken down by the trap right above the lobbies from Badonsky. And now with both soldiers down, Mr. Muffin's just now respawning. It looks like Ascent is going to hold on to the forward hold that they have set up on the battlements and potentially get ready to push back in once they get this Uber. But the numbers are going to be even, so I take that back. It's going to be a stalemate, Marxist.
Yep. Unlike last time, where they just Ubered out for no reason and lost the round. We'll see what's going to happen here. Yomps is on the spy class. I reckon they know that. And we'll see what he's going to try to do. He's going to cloak in and go in the lower right and eat some spam again right away. And it's another botched spy run for Yomps. Meanwhile, Sandblast creeping up, trying to headshot stuff. Not gonna succeed at that either.
Shenanigans are getting underway any moment now from Yomps as he waits for his cloak to recharge. And he's got the friendly scout to peek, give him an impression that there is a player that is not a spy, but they are fully aware of it.
Yep. I mean, maybe they'll just sit here for 4 minutes, and maybe they'll just assume he went away. But Ranga is going to end up feeding, basically, as they do a nice little play on the right side. Got excited, did he? And the Uber is going to be popped off. Sandblast is going to get blown away by Yomps' pistol. And the Uber is out. It is not going well for Faint Gaming. And we'll see. There's basically only one soldier in Mr. Muffins left alive. Going to get killed here, but Ranga is back and is going to end up dead. And that will put the first half in Ascent's hands, and we had multiple spy gun frags there.
Because I imagine you missed what happened exactly on the corner. I think it was, I want to say, yeah, it was Sandblast. Sandblast was standing perfectly still, fully aware of the spy trying to go for the backstab, and, you know, desperate to get the kill. We saw Yomps just kind of flailing his knife in his face, and, you know, Sandblast wasn't moving to the corner. He was just kind of standing still, aiming his mouse to try and get the shot, and he missed like 2 or 3 shots in a row, and then after the second or third swipe, Yomps decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my pistol, and he got the frag.
Yep, butter knife does less damage than the gun, so good idea there. We'll see how quickly we ready up after that, because we've seen a few folks who probably haven't played this hard in a while. 22-minute first half. I'll run us through the stats here real quick. Nursey is the leader of not dying with only 5 deaths. 9 Ubers.
Speed round, go.
For the effort. And let's see, who is the king damager? That would be Evil Mr. Muffins at 340. The king fragger, though. It's a tie between Mr. Muffins and Yomps. So Mr. Muffins having quite a game. But unfortunately, the team is struggling to
Got my eye on Mr. Muffins right now at this mid-fight as he does walk forward through the lower bridge of the midpoint. Gonna now walk through the closet, wait for a little arrow to come his way before initiating here very shortly. He's waiting very patiently, doesn't even get it. He had the crit heals for it, and is not gonna be initiating some spam. Not gonna get any frag there, gonna be backing up for the pack. Rotating back in very momentarily now. He did some nice little rocket damage onto Corsa, but still has no helpful initiation. Great sticky from Timmy Tupac, gonna take down Corsa right away, but now Mr. Muffins finally gets taken down. The Uber exchange just popped off, and finally May gonna get off as well. And actually some stuff has been happening this entire mid-fight. The cap happened for Faint. This mid-fight barely even finished, and we had Sandblast, Calf second. He's rushing towards last. He's going to get onto Mela. Mela, who tried to get an arrow, is going to actually get the better of Sandblast there, thankfully. Going to get knocked back, but 2 clean rockets. It doesn't take much for a Flick to respond. Mela still got the muscle reflexes to get those shots in, taking down Sandblast there.
Yeah, Mela still has a pretty high sensitivity as well. You can tell by how widely he misses on some Flick shots. But it looks like Feint are going to be pushed back here. They may lose their demo. No, an arrow saves the day. And there is a player behind. There's, let's see, it is Sandblast. Will they block the point? Will they block the point? No! They were unable to do it. The Sandblast back cap did not succeed. And in exchange, they lose their whole team.
Mela, remaining champion of Spire. He just needed to dust off those Badland dust and get right back into the swing of things on Spire. Able to stop the Spire from being blocked. And Sandblast going for that back cap. Now he has been spotted out on the midpoint. Can go down any moment now. Rando gets taken down after going for an attempted rocket jump to the health pack. An Uber has been forced off by Nursey from Ascent in lower. It has exchanged with another Uber from May in the lobby. And so now with both Ubers exchanged, it's going to be a no Uber factor here. But Timmy Tupac got taken down at some point during all the chaos. And now we're going to see some jumping from Ascent. Mela, who does get taken down right away. May getting followed up by Yomps, who came in from the battlements, was able to sneak in and get that kill. But Mr. Muffins retaliates onto Nursey, taking her down in the battlements in the lobby area. And Badonsky is going to be the next to go, followed by Rando. It is a clean wipe, just Mela alive, who is all the way at spawn, going to wait for his players. Not even going to pull some shenanigans at last. He know he can't do it. They're just going to get their 1-4 spawn. Corsa also going to manage to get in there, so it's going to be a 4v6 with May just now respawning. An Uber disadvantage, actually, and very low heals for the rest of the players forward. If Ascent can recognize this, they might be able to push.
Yeah, I think they should as well, especially given how well their pocket is performing. So they are in right now, trying to forward their way through. There is a flanking scout in Yomps. He is all over him. Muffins is just going to kill himself. And Yomps is still not dead, not really all that hurt. There he goes. Ranga's going to take care of it, and Sandblast is going to get Nursey somehow. Nursey was, I assume, out of position. Or Sandblast just really held W. What happened, bro?
I'd say Sandblast held W because that sentence does not compute when you tell me Nursey was out of position, being such a very well-seasoned medic across many seasons of every single format there is. We do see now with full Uber advantage, May going to be climbing the Spire here and ready to push through the lower. Ranga going to picking off Corsa and doing a fair amount of damage to Yomps there. Now with that numbers advantage on Corsa, who's very late behind as a sniper. We're going to be seeing them rushing forward. The trap is going to try and be cleared out. I don't even see where the trap is. The trap is just above the door. Oh! Gonna get killed by Mr. Muffins. Mr. Muffins dying to Badonsky there. The Uber does get forced off, and they're trying to take on this Pyro. Yomps on Pyro gonna slow down the Uber just long enough, but the players are rushing forward, gonna try and take down Mela. But the frags are coming in favor of Badonsky, taking down May and Ranga as well. Now, Happy Cool, another frag to Corsa, who's rushing forward now. It is just Sandblast, who's trying to find his way through dropdown. Could it potentially get behind, but Mela, after failing that jump, Mela is holding last with the help of Yomps. But he spots out Nursey, and Nursey's going to get taking a little bit of damage there. Sandblast now causing a little bit of pressure by rushing to the lobby area. Going to be rotating underneath, gets taken down by Yomps, who was onto his shenanigans. But the force was enough from Sandblast and Mr. Muffins. Going to be able to force that Uber off, and now May with a 8-second advantage, not going to be able to hold on to this midpoint with the rest of the Feint Gaming now as the pressure is coming on. The positioning is so strong from Ascent. They are pushing players back, but Badonsky is so low on health. Going to get that health pack from House, and the rest of the players do not have the numbers to contest at the moment. And the Ubers have equalized. It was an 8-second disadvantage, and Nursey has managed to take the lead practically.
Yep, that's yeah, there's the thing that happens when you shoot arrows at people on the shoulder, I think. And that happened over that long-range fight there. And also, there was some disconnect on May's part. So, what should have been a really great plan has just turned into an unnecessary risk. Because I think they have Uber advantage here too. So, out they go. They're going to have a European solo Uber. No, they actually send more people into it. Muffins is going to have a really hard time escaping. Yeah, he's dead. And that should lead Ascent to just roll in here. The both scouts are trying to fight them off. They are going to get some frags, though. Feint showing off what they can do with their individual DM skill. And the hazards are rounding a corner. And Feint is actually going to have the losing Uber and the winning fight.
Sandblast trying to initiate onto Nursey, getting disconnected very briefly from Badonsky, but is not going to be taken for granted. Nursey ready with the saw, and Badonsky with the follow-up pipe. Going to take down, but Renga has moved forward into a good position to take down Corsa, who has a small buff, but he's going to back off just in time. They're going to finish off the cap, but Mela is going to rush forward, try and slow players down. Not going to get the air shot, and Renga surfing all the way to the Spire. Going to take some arrows now and get healed up. Evil Mr. Muffin's the only casualty in this recapping of mid. Not even going to get the forward spawns that the rest of players have, and they're going to be rotating to the battlements now, trying to defend the Spire very shortly now, but I don't think they're going to have the opportunity because Nursey with full Uber is going to take Spire for free, and no one except Happy Cool potentially on the sniper class going to actually have to back spawn now instead. And now with Uber advantage in Nursey's favor, this looks like it's going to be a sense round if they can push this cleanly in the next 5 seconds.
No, they're doing too much screwing around here, bro, and they're going to lose it. So long, Uber advantage. We hardly knew yet. Oh wow! Reflected rocket almost kills Nursey. Nursey ends up eating it and then flies backwards and almost cratered into the ground. 14 health left. And Rando's gonna run another one of his suicides and die. And now we've got... Is Sandblast out?
Sandblast?
Yeah, he's out. Sandblast is out and about. He's gonna try to get that. Whoa! Almost takes an arrow right to the face. And I guess he's just gonna peace out after that. He's hiding in forward spawn from now on.
Back spawned there. Did not want to take any further risk. Gonna be rotating to the sniper class. But the Uber has come in a very poorly timed switching to that off glass, and poor Mr. Muffins is gonna get taken down in the flank. Behind the point, Corsa also gonna be fragging onto Mr. Phelps. The cap is now getting initiated by Corsa, but it's going to get taken down by the stickies of Timmy2Pipe, aka Campy. Now going to be rushing forward here. The rest of the players are backing out. Ascent have opted to come back to the Spire to defend the repush, but Sandblast is ready to fight Rando, who is a little bit too far forward. Going to be backing up into the bridge there, and Yops also pulling a Sandblast here. Going to be missing the jump into drop down with 2 easy shots, and oh, poor Muffins jumps forward to try and get in there, but gets body blocked by Yomps, and now it's going to be Yomps and Reno getting taken down, trying to go for the back half here. Not going to be Yomp going to get that opportunity, but Mela is in a position to take down Campy and potentially go for a back half. He's calling it, and Sandblast is also going to get taken down. Followed up by Corsa, doing so much work on the bridge. Going to take down Timmy2Pipe and Phelps as well. Corsa now chasing down the Uber exchange, and Mela going to be capping it off at last. If Mr. Muffins can't get it, he does get the cap, and Renga and Muffins are going to be taking up some heals from May's arrows, and the Ubers have been forced by Feint Gaming, so now they're going to have to desperately slow this down without anything to slow any Uber to work with. But Timmy2Pipe has respawned and is throwing stickies at the choke point of Main. Going to be taking down the players there, and the Uber is ready from Nursey. Going to be popping it off the course at any moment now. They don't even have to pop because they're not afraid of any stickies. They're going to take down Timmy2Pipe with no one there to stop the cap. Nursey's going to come in, get a saw onto the point, and cap it off. Thanks to Corsa with a phenomenal 6 frags there in the final moments of this round to win them the round.
Yeah, there was a succession of errors there from Feint Gaming, which ended in May dropping the whole team. Because they had Uber. If you've got Uber advantage, your intention should be to use it, not drop your whole team. But Badonsky's going to go down way super early. So is the whole rest of Ascent. And look at that, Ro. We didn't know what we wanted to do for that mid. But it's over so fast no one will remember.
Sandblast almost going to be a casualty to the Yomps equalizer escape plan, as it were. And it just goes to show that Rando desperately wants to show his bad manners, and I'm at the wrong Spire because I can look at my wall hacks as a spectator. Rando trying to pull the bad manners is gonna get shut down. He can't go on scout, and Yomps can't go on soldier. They're gonna have to play things out normally because as it stands, they have an Uber advantage, and Rando has the Pyro class. Hopefully they can make something happen by maybe just rushing in through main, forcing some players to drop. I don't know what's going to happen because Rando in a great position with this Uber to force things out. The Uber does come from lower, as I said, and they're going to jump off the top, try and take down Nursey right away. Very good job from Mr. Muffin, too. Also cleans out on Badonsky with no stickers on the point. It's going to be Cappy Cool. Rushing to the point, going to get the cap, and that's going to be it. A clean push from lower, expecting the pyro. I'm glad I read the situation as they read it themselves, knowing there would be a pyro upper main, trying to deny it by going from lower and jumping Muffins in to deny Nursey from getting into the shutter. And as it stands, that is exactly how it went down, and they got the cap. Very good job from Mr. Muffins jumping in there.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do over here on Fake Gaming, because this kind of stuff can tend to make you mad. So we're going to see the first start at mid here. Everybody's pretty banged up, but no death. Big bomb coming in now. It's going to be a counter jump, actually. And Ascent's going to lose the farm again, but it's now a soldier and a med versus 3 with almost no health. They're going to lose the med there. May sacrifices his life, but in the sad world of a shotgunless soldier, unable to get those 3 kills. So Mabla and Rando will cap this off. And probably Rando even could make a go at Spire. But we'll see.
Rando certainly will attempt it, as he does try and spot things out. He does spot Phelps and does think better of it. He knows he can't win a scout fight without his team because he's not a scout main. You can't do that. May, unfortunately, in a bad position on the bottom of Spire, going to be healing players up and trying to get them onto the Spire. But that's going to leave openings for Yamps, who has jumped onto the point, knocked off Renga, and done a fair amount of damage to Mr. Muffins, who's going to get healed up on the flank here. Melee going to initiate, and poor Mr. Muffins not going to have enough opportunity there to take it down. But Nursey gets taken down by Mr. Timmy Two-Pipe, who I think jumped in and got the frag. And now the rest of the players are cleaning up. Renga going to be cleaning up on the Vidonsky and Corsa. It is just Yamps on the point, and takes a nice little rocket there. Going to get cleaned up by Phelps, who does manage to get the final frag there. And it is just Rando coming to mid, and Mr. Muffins ready to stack the point with a little bit of help from his partner in crime, Phelps.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yamps there just walked right into a rocket. So they are pushing back in, though. It is Ascent, and they're going to take out Happy Cool. Okay, Phelps. But it doesn't matter. Sandblast is going to pick up that frag, but then he's up in the air and is going to get taken out by Badonsky. And the races are on here. 2 soldiers try to stop 1 scout. Well, oh!
Tyrone air shot
terminates Corsa. And we'll see what goes on here. Oh, no. We have the Yamps Heavy. He is going to try to make it to Spire. That is the natural habitat of the Heavy. A bomb is coming in behind, but he's going to find a Heavy. The worst day of Ranga's career. And yeah, now there's a laser beam crits. And we'll see what's going to happen. They're going to pop Uber. That's the ultimate counter to the laser beam crits. And they are now just bouncing around on this Spire.
Mercy somehow did not get it fragged in that exchange because Sandblast thought better of it, and now is thankfully going to redeem himself by getting the frag very late into the exchange. Unfortunately, both medics are going to be on the same spawn timer, so they're not going to get an Uber advantage here. But Timmy Two-Pipe has been taken down by Corsa, who is now rotating all around the point, going to get taken down by Phelps, who is now rotating to the Spire, desperate to clean up the last of the initiation from Mr. Muffins, who is also going to take down Rando there. And with 3 frags here, Yamps Yamps is ready to pull out on his best Mafia impression, but he takes a little bit of spam here. He's sitting around the corner and ready to flank, as a Tomislav Heavy should. But Happy Cool rushing forward, going to take down by Timmy Two-Pipe, aka Badonsky, the original Two-Pipe god. Going to be able to throw down that attempt. And Mr. Muffin's going to be rushing forward, going to get taken down by Yamps, who is still on the Putis cannon, who is now firing over to the shutter, scaring away the players who are now going to forfeit the Spire, unfortunately.
This is an exact replay of how my team was able to win open. It was. We started to lose and we said dumb brain go heavy, and so the other team went to push into mid, and there was a heavy at mid, and it all went according to plan. But they're gonna go for the laser beams again. So they're going with the crit sticky here someday. There is a sniper dot, which is a pretty hard counter, but they're stuck on the point. They run onto it to try to crits it, but they took too long, and there is an Uber there out of May. And
very good Uber from Sandblast.
Not work.
Ooh. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
Oh, unfortunately, Yam's still holding up into the... he throws down a sandwich before going down his last attempt. His last-ditch effort for his life, his last will and testament, was to drop that sandwich. And now Corsa, who is on his second kill, going to be juking around Renga as desperately as he can. Oh, but it's also Rando who's initiating here, and a follow-up from the rest of the players jumping onto the point. It's a full fling onto the point. It's not going to be enough, and that's going to be the game 5-2. Ascent getting the better of it. I really wanted to compliment Fank Gaming for that Uber. That was a great play from Ascent to bait players onto the point and then force out the crits. But unfortunately, the crits was misaimed for the first sticky instead of shooting onto the point, which would have netted probably 3 kills with 1 sticky if it was timed well. Definitely at least 1 or 2 with the first sticky alone. Unfortunately, that was a misfired sticky, and the Uber was forced off and able to chase out players, but Sandblast was the only one chasing, and as a result, he got stuffed. The Uber was left off because May backed off, knowing he couldn't chase, and then that was it. Sandblast crumbled, and then poor Timmy 2Pipe got taken down shortly thereafter, and that was all it could take for Yomp, still hiding in the drop-down battlements, able to repush very cleanly and take the point, and that will be EVL, or rather Ascent's victory over Fank Gaming, proving they were having a good time and doing better of it. They offclassed quite a bit this match, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. Fank Gaming did take advantage of them at the mid-fights when they were offclassing and proved better of it. So props to them for not crumbling to the BM. However, the offclassing was very strong on the second and last holds.
Yep, well, that's a little more typical. So, I fully approve of the heavy, but yeah, some of the other stuff we saw what they can offer us over at Feint, but Ascent was just too strong tonight. Again, I've said it a million times, but a game like that where your team, Mr. Muffins, by the way, I'm pretty sure he's from the future and he speaks with an Austrian accent. Because that guy was the Terminator tonight, but it did not work. So it didn't happen for him, unfortunately. So we'll see. That team is close, but there were a lot of botched plays that just cost him the match. And maybe it's with their comms, because knowing that team, Goldfish was previously sort of in tandem with Sandblast, the main caller, and with him having to leave, that may have thrown a wrench in things.
Looking at these stats here, I do want to commend Badonsky for a phenomenal performance all across the board. Top damaging, not quite top fragging, but when you look at his frags to deaths, a clean 2.0 KD, that's pretty good. Most other players cannot compete, cannot even shine a light to that. Most were in the exact 1 KD ratio there. Top frag is going to be shared between Yomps and Mr. Muffins. Mr. Muffins putting a great game as Soldier, his breakout match with Fank Gaming after leaving Hibbleton that died recently. Mr. Muffins really proved himself as a Soldier. I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was the pocket, just as a gunboat's pocket. Really phenomenal work here on the stats from Mr. Muffins, breaking that 10K mark with his teammate Campy, aka Timmy 2Pipe, almost hitting 300 DPM by the end of the second half, and a even 31 frags. Really phenomenal stuff from there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm looking at these stats. It's just so fairly even across the board. Actually, when you look at Fank Gaming, they did out damage Ascent by quite a bit. 1,000 damage, not quite a bit, but 1,000 damage. Not significant, as the frags were fairly close as well. Only a 10 frag difference there for 5-2. I mean, the stats here just speak to a really even game. All players did pretty well in their own respect. I mean, Mela did not go negative in the KD department. Renga, however, could not avoid it, hitting 20 and 25. So the Rummer battle there tells a story of Renga was doing phenomenal damage, breaking 275 DPM, almost hitting 10K, and Mela just barely broke 9,000, but was even on frags and deaths.
21
and Rando.
21.
Rando. I don't even want to mention Rando's stats because he was so many different classes. It's invalidated.
Well, I do enjoy the heal statistics though, because of all the off-classing. It's really wonky. But yeah, that's basically all I see out of the stats. Let's see, medic deaths. Well, Nursey more than double the deaths in the second half. the 3 rounds that we saw in the second half were much worse for Nursey, but ultimately didn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, that's all I can see here. I'd say that was a very good game, honestly. I very much enjoyed covering this game with you folks all tonight. Mr. Muffin's great breakout performance. Mela, the return, doing a reasonable game. Rando proving he is the BM master. And with that, I think we're all squared away here. Nothing else to cover. May also a brief hiatus of leaving and coming back, doing a reasonable game here. Coming back with only about 4 more deaths than Nursey, and also doing a phenomenal job of, popping the Ubers at the right times when it came to the other exchanges for the rest of the match from what I saw. So overall, every player pretty much did a good showing for what they have to offer for the rest of the season, but these players aren't going to be exchanging with one another until the playoffs, because Ascent has finally quelched the Fank Gaming lead and said, you've beaten us, we've beaten you. We are now almost guaranteed to be in the playoffs, assuming we don't lose any more rounds. So that's where we stand with the invite season, ladies and gentlemen. Marxist, do you have any other comments?
Not at this time.
So with that said, I want to give a shout out to Talcum X. Go and give it to you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Or I believe the match is going to be something that I am currently flicking to. We may have a cast tomorrow, we may not. It depends on our production staff. So if you're in chat still, give a huge shout out to Nicell for coming out tonight, helping us make this wonderful game happen. And hearts in the chat. If I don't see at least 10 loading screens per line, I will be disappointed. If you have custom sub emotes that have a heart, please put them in the chat, or a +2 out of respect for Nicell not dropping the bomb this match. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful week 6, I lied. Week 6 of invite action for ESEA Season 25. Thank you and good night.